I'm a journalist and I was ordered to go and examine one abandoned psychiatric hospital. And tell me why it was closed. Well, before going on my trip, I decided to find out a little more about the psychiatric hospital. Oddly enough, there was no information about this hospital on the internet. Well, there's nothing to do. I put together a backpack with the necessary things, a first aid kit, some food, and a video camera to record everything that happens there. I got to the psychiatric hospital quite quickly and without incident, but I still remember with fear what happened in the clinic itself. From the street, the hospital looked terrifying. The walls looked as if they were about to collapse. The ceiling could barely stand on the flimsy walls, and the fence that surrounded this building was old and rusty. Despite this, the lock on the gate was intact and looked great as if it had just been hung. I didn't foresee this, and I had to climb over a high fence, and with great difficulty I managed to do it. Well, here I am on the territory of a psychiatric hospital. I walked up to the entrance and pulled the door handle. Damn, how can I go to this damn clinic now? I thought to myself, because the door was locked. And then I noticed a window on the first floor. It was open and I was able to calmly get inside. What I saw inside was simply terrible. The chairs were broken, the tables were scattered throughout the room, and in general this entire room was turned upside down. I took out the camera and videotaped this room. As soon as I stuffed the video camera back into my bag, I heard a woman scream, "No, don't kill me, no." It became creepy. I was about to crawl out of the window, but the window instantly slammed shut as soon as I turned to it, and from it a terribly mutilated face looked at me. I tried to break out the glass, but in vain, as if it were impenetrable. From that moment on, I decided to record everything that happened on camera. I had to go to the next room. It turned out to be a long corridor with doors correctly leading to the rooms of psychos. I went into each of them, but there was nothing unusual except inverted chairs, tables, and other furniture. I walked along this corridor deep, moving away from the rooms. There were no more doors. There was just a long corridor. But suddenly I saw the light just like the light at the end of the tunnel. He quickly rushed towards him. It turned out to be a passage, without a door. It was broken out, and lying next to the passage, I saw the body of a girl, most likely the one who screamed. She had no limbs, no legs or arms, and a torn mouth. I was seriously scared, thinking that this might await me too. Meanwhile, the battery on my camera was running out. There were literally 2 divisions left. But, thank God, there were batteries next to the corpse. I didn't care what they were doing there. I just grabbed them and immediately put them in a cell. I decided to go to the next room and take a break. The next room was the dining room, a large, spacious dining room. Oddly enough, it was as if she had not been touched by the psychos, it seemed. And seems to me now that it was the psychos who caused all this chaos in the rooms. I sat down at the table and started eating what was edible in my backpack. While I was eating, I remembered the girl. Well, the corpse that was in the previous room. What did she even forget here? How did she end up here? But it was pointless, since I was unable to find out the truth about this girl. After finishing my meal, I went to explore this place further, looking for a way out. I walked along empty corridors, saw a lot of corpses and medical records. I periodically looked at my watch. I stayed in this hospital for about 5 hours. While I walked along the corridors, I heard a lot of screams and groans from living people. I didn't try to scream myself, because I knew that the person or creature that killed the girl was in the same building with me, and it could hear me. 7 hours of wandering had already passed. But damn it, I didn't find a way out, although the hospital didn't look big from the outside. And then I saw it. Looks like it saw me and rushed in my direction. How scared I was then. I didn't try to run away. It would still catch up with me. I woke up already in the chamber. It was not the chamber that I saw. She was quite neat and with normal furniture, but what I saw shocked me. But it wasn't this that struck me, but the fact that I didn't have a hand either. That I didn't feel the strangest pain. The incision was sewn up. I couldn't resist and vomited. I came up and tried to open the door. Oddly enough, it was open. I went out and saw a camera lying on the floor. This time there were no screams, as if all the living things that were here had sucked out, although he was not here. But there were still at least some signs of life, and now there was complete silence. This frightened me even more, and suddenly there were steps, that same creature, and loud laughter. I rushed as hard as I could. While I ran 5 times, I fell and tripped over everything on my legs. I stopped and vomited again. After 3 hours of silence and my rest, piercing screams were heard. I jumped up, grabbed the camera and ran again in a direction unknown to me. And to the right of it stood and smiled the same person who closed the window, and yes, it was a man, but with a very disfigured face. "What did I do to you?" I shouted. "Nothing, but you have video footage that I need. If you give it to me, I will open the door for you, and if not, then I will kill you." That person answered. "So why didn't the animal that cut off my hand take the camera, but simply throw it to the ground? He's dumb and doesn't understand a damn thing." Enough chatter. Quickly gave up the camera and went out. "Didn't you think that I could tell everything myself? So who's going to let you go with your tongue?" After these words, the man took out huge scissors. I wasn't going to give up either my camera or my tongue. After the conversation and the sight of the exit, the forces rose. I sharply rushed to the exit, pushing the man to the side, first throwing back the camera, lifted the scissors from the floor, and tried to open the door with them. The door was locked fair. Then I approached the man and first tried to cut off his head. He was lying unconscious. But I'm not like that. I'm not a killer. I just took the keys from his pocket and opened the door. Opening it, I saw dawn on the street, and suddenly that same dumbheaded jumped on me from behind, and I was seriously scared. We started rolling on the floor until I reached the scissors. Dull-headed hit me on the stomach. I sharply grabbed the scissors and stuck them in his eyes. He screamed. I had time, and I didn't miss it. I quickly jumped up and ran to the exit, barely having time to pick up the camera and lock the door outside. All the information about this hospital was on my camera, and one hand indicated that I had been severely beaten. After that, I quickly ran, got to the police post and told, and showed them everything. A couple of days later, the hospital was demolished. The doctors helped me with my hand, and what I want to say is that the guys didn't even promote me at work, and I decided to quit. Don't work as journalists or go to abandoned places.